Hi, I'm Ellen Bass.
And I'm Sophia Kahn, Ellen's niece.
And we are the co-authors of the new cookbook out, Students Go Gourmet. And we are going to make a very fun and special dish for you today. It's called How to Make Quiche with Peas. And our ingredients start with a pre-made pie crust that we have pre-cooked. We'll tell you about that in a minute. We've got 2 cups of Gruyere. We have 1 1/4 cups of half and half, 3 eggs, 1 cup of peas, and we have nutmeg, 2 tablespoons of tarragon, and pepper. Okay, so we're going to tell you how to make it. So we've got a pre-made pie crust here that we got at the store.
We pre-baked it, you thought, and then you pre-bake it at 375.
Exactly, for about 8 to 10 minutes. If you don't, your crust is going to be, on the bottom especially, is going to be a little bit soggy.
Soft, yeah.
So this is ready to go, and this is what we like to do when we make quiche. We layer things, and Gruyere is one of our favorite cheeses for making quiche because it's wonderful melting cheese. So I'm going to take 1 cup of my Gruyere. I've got 2 cups in here. We're going to take 1 cup and put it on the bottom.
Be generous.
You can see how easy making quiche is.
And Gruyere is a lovely, nutty, rich, sweet cheese.
Absolutely.
It's classic for quiche.
It is. It's one of the originals that was used in France and in Germany.
When they first made quiche Lorraine, they ended up adding cheese after the fact. At first it was just a lardon.
That's correct. Bacon. That's correct, yes.
And then they realized how brilliant it would be to add the Gruyere. And Gruyere is actually a town in Switzerland. So it's very similar to Swiss cheese, Emmentaler. It's got that wonderful flavor.
Yes, it is very nice. I like the word nutty. Nutty. It really is nutty. Now I've got some beautiful tarragon. Peas are really a spring vegetable, and if you can't find them in the grocery store and it's not the springtime, go ahead and get the frozen ones. Those are great. But I like to pair an herb that's very spring-like, so I like to use either tarragon or mint, and right now I've got 2 tablespoons of tarragon that I'm just going to sprinkle over the top, and it's got a very fresh anise flavor, so a little bit of licorice. And it just adds a little punch and just gives a little bit of extra flavor to these beautiful sweet peas.
And we love pairing tarragon with lots of things, especially seafood. If you make crab cakes, you can put some tarragon right in the crab cakes, put it over some salmon with a nice cream sauce or mustard sauce.
Absolutely wonderful with lobster.
Lobster,
It's like a French kitchen when you've got lobster and butter and tarragon. Okay, so Sophia's going to help. Sophia, we've got 3 eggs, and we always use the same, pretty much the same ratio with all of our quiche. We use 3 eggs to either 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 cups of half and half.
depending on how stuffed your quiche is going to be.
How stuffed it's going to be. And I'm going to put my next layer of cheese while you're doing that.
So
Sophie's going to whisk up the eggs and add the cream, and that's going to be our custard. So we make a nice layer here. We sort of have our peas and all our goodies sandwiched in there, in between our layers of cheese.
And then the cheese at the top is going to get nice and brown and caramelized.
Melted and just beautiful.
And you can really control how brown you want the top to be. If you like it on the lighter side, about 30 minutes or so into the cooking, you can just put some foil right over the top. I think that's ready to go.
That's beautiful. You ready to pour it on? We just pour it slowly because you're going to want to let the custard sink to the bottom. And just pour around like that. And if you've got if it gets up to the top, just stop. If you have a little left over, it's okay. Just means you have a lot of goodies inside your quiche. And then on the top, what I like to do, I rarely will add salt to quiche because the cheese is salty and the eggs have salt, and a lot of times the ingredients have salt. So most of the time I just add some ground black pepper and some nutmeg. So I'm going to do 4 turns of my ground black pepper, which I have found to just be perfect. And then also 4 of my nutmeg. And this is fresh nutmeg. This is definitely the way you want to use nutmeg when you're making quiche. And here we have for you a beautiful quiche with peas. We're ready to put this in the oven, 375 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes, depending on your oven. And we actually have a finished product for you.
Right.
Sophia's going to bring that up.
And here we go.
This is what it looks like when it's done.
We love the browned, glorious, cheesy top.
You can see the little peas and the tarragon sneaking through there.
It's best served at room temperature, but you can have it hot, you can have it cold, you can have it at midnight, you can have it at 3 in the afternoon, whatever floats your boat. I'm Sophia Kahn.
And I'm Ellen Bass.
From Students Go Gourmet. Happy cooking.